Hey, so today I just want to talk about something random again. Why not? But I wanted to talk about, I guess, just here's the thing. I don't really, this is another one of those things where I could call it many things and I don't really know what. I could call it texting, I could call it messages, I could call it comments, I could call it, uh, I don't know, internet communication, I can call it phone communication, I could call it a lot of things. But I'll probably just call it texting because I don't really fucking know what word I could use appropriately or what sentence I could use appropriately. But it's the idea of like just I guess kind of just messaging people in any form through any means, whether it be through the internet or just through a phone, through texting, or I don't know, like weird messengers like on Facebook or those. I think Twitter also has weird messaging. I don't know. It seems like a lot of social medias now have like weird messaging. Which for somewhere like Twitter, that's probably definitely not the place you want to have messaging because all people do on Twitter is like try to dox each other and threaten each other. But now, I am not a very, how should I say, human type of responder in any form when it comes to messages. I have a very, very, very strange hatred towards using emojis, abbreviations, or just really anything. Like I don't think I've ever typed in LOL. I don't think I've ever used the letter U to sign U. I usually put YOU. I try to have correct punctuation and all that, though sometimes I fuck up because sometimes I always forget where like sometimes apostrophe or not apostrophes. I don't know, maybe apostrophe. I don't know what they're called. Okay, the little fucking dots with the tails, but it's not the one that goes like the thing S. It's like the one where it's like you put like but and then you put like the thing or it goes before but and I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I haven't taken English in forever. I'm dumb. But I'm very robotic with how I respond to people because people they love to use like emojis like whenever they like make like a joke or something it'll be like oh man I could go to eat some ass right now and then they'll put like I don't know, the emoji with its tongue out, or the emoji with hearts in its eyes, or the poop emoji or something. And then like, but like me, like I make a joke, and then people like because I don't use emojis or like LOL or LMAO or ROFL or whatever the fuck else there is, because there's so many of them. Because I don't use that, like people could easily like look at it and be like, "Is he being serious? Like, what is he saying?" Because I think like the strangest thing I've ever typed out for someone was like "uwu," and that's just because I don't know. I thought it was funny. It's a stupid thing, but it was funny. And of course, I only sent that type of thing to my cousin because I'm gonna be honest. I'm not an uwu person. But I don't use like abbreviations. I don't shorten letter words like just you. I don't use the letter U. I just don't like it. Like I like to have my sentences like spelled correctly. I try to have the punctuation correct. I try to do everything and it's so robotic. And then sometimes like I'll accidentally make a run-on sentence or I'll have like three sentences like back to back and they'll all be robotic. And I noticed it whenever I made like a post on my YouTube some time ago where I was talking about my like during the first time I ever got like shiny Pokemon, like a shiny Pokemon video, and I was like I realized the way I typed it like there was nothing behind it. It was like weirdly typed. It felt strange. Like I was reading it back and I was thinking like, damn, this is like inhuman. It almost feels like a robot wrote this. And every time I text, it feels like there's no emotion behind it. So I always kind of worry that when I like text my cousin, that I always think like, oh shit, he's gonna like think I'm like super serious or mad or something. But I can't use emojis. I don't like just putting LOL. I don't like to type out ha 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 when something's funny. Like if something's funny, I laugh at it and then I respond accordingly. Like I don't know. I'm just so robotic and I've responded to some comments on YouTube and I try the only reason I don't really respond to them is just cuz I'm like kind of just like I don't I want to be entertaining in the comment. Like I want my comments to either be entertaining or answering a question thoroughly and I don't want the person to like think like oh I'm like mocking them or something. But I don't want to put emojis and I don't want to put like weird abbreviations like I just want to like try and be funny without those, but I can't. So if I put something weird, like if someone's like, "Hey, nice video," and then I just type in like the fungus is consuming my soul, they're just gonna be like, "Dude, what the fuck?" Because I didn't put like LOL or an emoji or some weird type of punctuation or capitalization that makes it look weird. Everyone would just take it seriously. And it's like such a stupid thing to worry about because that's like an irrational fucking just like thought. Because if someone was like, "Hey, I like your content," and I just literally respond with, "I will destroy the foundations of society," like I don't think a person's gonna like be like, "Dude, are you serious? What is wrong with you?" Like people are probably gonna look at it and either think, "Hey, that's funny," or "That's really unfunny." But I always like think like I'm so out of date with like just everything because I always think like, oh, if I don't use emojis, people won't pick up on what I'm trying to say. They'll just think that I'm some like stern old man that can't keep up with the times. But the reality is I just fucking hate emojis. I think they're so fucking stupid. Like they're just so stupid looking. Like I don't want to respond with laughing faces. That's just so ugly. I just hate it. And if I had a girlfriend, I wouldn't want to respond with hearts and a fucking heart eye emoji. Like that just seems so disingenuous. Like because at that point it just feels like you're not trying to even talk to the person. It just feels like you're just trying to like placate some like conversation where you're just like, "Oh, I don't know what to say to this person, therefore emoji." Like if you can't if you don't know what to say to someone, then either say, I don't really know what to say, or just be like, "Okay, I think that's where our conversation ends." But I don't know. And not to mention ending like having a sentence that ends with an emoji or even begins with an emoji or has an emoji in the middle of it just feels fucking stupid. But again, that's just, and that's not even me being old, right? Because people can be like, "Oh, well, you're just a jaded old man." But there's people older than me who spam emojis out their ass. There's people the same age as me who spam emojis. There's people younger than me who spam emojis. People in my family spam emojis. Like, I am like the only person that just doesn't like emojis. I just don't like them. But at the same time, I also don't like abbreviations like LOL because I'm not laughing out loud. I'm sorry. If something makes me laugh, I don't think I've ever gotten a text that has made me laugh out loud. I've seen like funny things. My cousin sent me funny memes where I was just kind of like, "Huh, that's funny," you know. But I don't think I've ever like laughed out loud or rolled on the floor laughing or laughed my ass off. Like that's the thing. I've never done those, which is why I don't like using them because it implies that I'm like losing my shit. Like I'm on the floor. I'm about to fucking go into cardiac arrest. I can't believe it. Oh my god, so funny. But it wasn't. It was just funny, you know. It was just normal kind of funny where I'm just like, "Hey, that's funny," you know, or I just kind of like have like a slight like, "Huh," you know, like that's it. That's it. It's just like a normal funny. I have never LOL'd or LMAO'd. Okay, I've never done those things. Nor have I ever. I don't think I've ever actually typed it. Like, other than any time where I've like typed out a word that's had it in it, like LOL. I've used LOL before because I typed in lollipop because I remember at some point I was like trying to look up how to beat Lollipop Chainsaw on hard and if there was a good strategy, and then I was like, then I realized, oh yeah, I suck at the game, so that's not going to happen. And irrelevant thing, but I just don't, right? And not using emojis or using like LOLs and LMAOs and funny abbreviations and shit makes me look robotic. Because when I try to like, if there's any time where I have responded to a comment, because I try, and there's sometimes where I like go to a comment and I'm like thinking about responding, but then I'm like, ah, like I kind of just think like, damn it, I can't be funny. There's no way for me to be funny without abbreviations or emojis. There's no way for me to seem like I'm just trying to have fun with this person, right? Because when I want to comment back with people, I try to like either be nice or just like, jokey. But I realize that if I'm being nice, but without like emojis or LOLs or all that kind of shit, I'm just seeming like maybe I'm coming on to that person, right? Like it makes it seem like I'm like flirting with them because I'm just being so direct. Like, oh, I'm saying thank you. I'm saying thank you to them. That I'm being direct. I'm not putting any like special like heart, and they'd be like, "Oh shit, emojis. He's being pretty chill with me." Compared to if I don't use emojis, then they're just gonna be like, "Oh, he's being super formal. He must be on a mission. He's just saying it to me, and he's being this formal. He must have some ulterior motive." And I just hate it because I feel too formal. I feel too boring, And it feels like when you don't use emojis, you're trying too hard to send like some weird message. Either you're just trying to like make people think you're crazy, make people think you're coming on to them, make people think that you're just too stern and just don't know how to have fun. But the reality is I'm just a boring texter. I'm robotic. I can't help it. There's nothing I can do. Because if I type LOL, I physically hurt. Like I can't explain it. I just hate it. I don't want to type LOL to something that I'm not laughing about. I want to be genuine. I don't want to laugh about something I'm not laughing. I don't want to just say, "Hey, thanks, man." LOL. Like, why would I laugh? I'm thanking someone. That's not funny. Like, it drives me insane. But I also don't want to use emojis because that make like what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to do? Put the crying emoji that is like smiling so it makes it look like like I'm like, oh, I'm so thankful, but it makes me seem weird because it makes me seem like I'm like on the floor bawling because someone said something nice to me, but I'm not. I'm just grateful, and so I'm just saying thank you, but it's like I can't because then I look weird. If I use emojis, I seem like I'm like being like overly emotional, but then when I don't, it seems like I'm being either creepy or like coming on to someone because I'm like so stern, like I'm a man on a mission and I'm just thinking about some ass right now, but I'm not. I'm just saying thank you, but it's like God. I can't express how robotic I am when I text or when I message. And the few times I've, you know, responded to comments. God, I couldn't think of the word. Because I've responded to comments a few times, and sometimes there's ones where I linger on the comment, and I'm just like, I should say something back, right? I should say something funny or nice, right? But then I realize that if I don't keep up with the time, if I'm not using emojis and LOLs and LMAOs, and I'm not like using the letter U instead of YOU, people are gonna think that I'm some old raggedy man who's either just gone insane trying to be a pervert or is just being an asshole because people are gonna be like, God damn, man, we're just all here to have fun and you're being this stern. And it's like, I can't be anything but. I'm not trying to be stern. I just can't type for shit. Like, I want correct pronunciation, or not pronunciation. I want correct spelling. I want correct punctuation. I want my sentence to not be a run on. I want my sentence to, like, I want to make sentences that gets my point across. But if I add like LOL and emojis, then I lose my point because I'm so disgusted with myself for using them. And the same goes with texting. I just can't do it. I want to get my point across. And that's kind of even like these videos where I'm so bad at being funny. I'm so bad at like trying to be entertaining. I'm bad at everything. Instead, I try to make a point. I just try to like get from A to B and be like, here's my point. I am talking about my point. There are no deviations. But these deviations that I make are feeble attempts. At the end of the day, I just am too robotic when it comes to texting and messages and replying to comments. And it gets to the point where I don't even reply to people because I want to be not robotic. I want people to like, hey, either laugh or not care about the thing I said back to them, or to, if I say like thank you, they're like, oh shit, no problem, like I don't want to be that like stern guy that people see as like having some evil ulterior motive because I couldn't relate to everyone. And instead of being like some relatable youth who uses emojis and abbreviations, I just jump into them and I'm just like, hey, thank you very much. I am very grateful. Like, nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear like, yo man, that's some cool shit. Emoji, dance emoji, fire emoji. That's some cool shit, LMAO, man. Let's hit the whip. They want to hear that. Or maybe not that last part. Again, I don't know any popular dances anymore. But I just can't keep up with it. Like, I text robotically. If I were to, like, even my posts, when I make my posts, they're so robotic. You could almost like get an AI to write those exactly. Like, you could get the worst AI ever made to write that exactly because I am that robotic. But I don't know. It's just me talking about how I struggle with like texting. I was never a texter. I like to talk to people in person, but obviously we're kind of in like a new age where you can still talk to people, but it's getting to the point where like you're gonna have to start making friends on the internet. You're gonna have to start talking to people you already know over the internet or through texting. Like, it's an inevitability, and I suck at it because I can talk to people with a lot more personality in real life, but when it comes to messaging, I literally cannot get a single bit of personality out because I do not want to put abbreviations, shorten words, or use emojis. So, I don't know. I'm just a robot on the internet sometimes, so it's weird and I feel old, even though I'm not really. But yeah, I don't know. So, if ever I do respond to a comment, I'm sorry if I come off as robotic and don't use emojis and LOLs and LMAOs and ooh-woos and all that. Instead, I'm probably just going to respond averagely, and it's going to come off as weird because I'm not trying to be relatable, unfortunately. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm a robotic texter and messenger and commenter and all that shit. So, yeah, whatever.